Welcome back. Any given weekend, we have a lot to talk about. This is an exciting episode. First of all, breaking news today. Texas Tech quarterback, transfer from Cincinnati, has just been sent to rehab, was it for gambling addiction?
Yeah, that's what they were saying. Apparently, gambling addiction. Apparently, he was betting a lot of money on,
Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, MLB baseball. I saw somewhere that he was betting on Indiana football in like 2022, and there was the meme of like the guy that's digging for the diamonds and like right before his last swing. Yeah,
it was crazy. I saw that earlier today.
What a dumbass.
Yeah, I mean, and where do you even go for gambling addiction? Send them our way.
Facts.
We'll take care of it.
Facts. None of us are addicts on this show, so we can help you out for real.
But that was crazy news. Also, this last week we had the NFL draft. I know we kind of talked about doing a little draft show, but it kind of snuck up on us maybe in the next few years. What are your thoughts on the draft? I mean, we all know who was going number one. That was Fernando.
Yeah. I think the draft, I thought it was a mid-draft for sure as far as like talent-wise. Yeah. But I think it was a very dumb draft also because I think the best player in the draft, Caleb Downs, goes outside the fucking top 10 because NFL GMs just... They can't help themselves from overthinking and disregarding film and production and going off of measurements. Yeah. Like Ruben Bain going 15 to the Buccaneers. Like, just put on that guy's film and that he shouldn't be a 15th pick. So, yeah, I thought it was kind of a mid-draft and it was also a dumb draft.
Yeah, I couldn't watch. I wasn't able to watch the beginning of it. I did watch, like round 2, 3, so on and so on. But I got caught up, and it was very interesting picks, like Kansas City trading up. Heard a lot of Kansas City fans were upset because the guy that they took to trade up, they could have easily got at the spot that they were at.
Who'd Kansas City draft? Do you know? I actually don't
know. They took a receiver, didn't they? Or no, they took Lemons.
No, Lemon.
Or they took
that was Eagles.
No, they took. I'm sorry, they took LSU's corner. Bolaire, something like that.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Delane. Yeah, Mansour Delane.
They also drafted Peter Woods from Clemson at the end.
Okay.
Yeah,
it was very interesting. The Steelers Hawks. That was a fun thing. Or the Steelers and Eagles. That was a fun little scenario to watch out. How Steelers were going to pick up what's his name, and then the Eagles ended up taking him from the Steelers.
Oh, yeah. Lemon? Yeah. Are you talking about Lemon? Yeah.
And if you can see, I'm sweating right now because it is so hot in the studio right now. Like, look at this. Look at this.
I am too, but I can't see it on my shirt.
It is hot as fuck in here. And you know what else is hot? The NBA playoffs. It's getting spicy.
That is facts, Bob.
Tonight,
that was a great transition. I love that.
It is Monday, April 27th. Tonight we have Detroit and Orlando. That is a 2-1 series with Orlando leading. We have OKC at Phoenix. OKC's up 3-0. We have Minnesota at Denver. That is 3-1 lead Minnesota. I've loved these playoffs this year. I thought they've been very close games for the most part. And my favorite series right now is Detroit-Orlando, number 1 versus number 8 in the East.
Yeah, there's been a lot of like sneaky good series, I feel like, in the first round so far. I was going to look up the playoff bracket. I feel like all of them have been like somewhat good series outside of... outside of the Thunder, obviously, because they're up 3-0. The West, they're all up 3-1, but the East, they're all in. There's a bunch of battles over there. I saw last night the Cavs and Raptors.
That was a good game.
They shot like 20% from the field and 50% from the free throw line, both teams on the entire game. It was like unbelievable.
Let's talk about New York and Atlanta.
Yeah, that's a
2-2.
That's a great series.
Which I have New York winning this next game because it's back at New York, Madison Square Garden. C.J. McCollum has been absolutely frying. He has been cooking New York.
Yeah, he has.
And then Mikal Bridges, on the other hand, has just been out there doing cardio. I mean, he put up 4 shots in Game 3. I was like,
I did see that. Yeah,
crazy. If I had to take a guess on who's moving on, I'm going OKC, LA on the West, meeting the semis. Minnesota, San Antonio. Now that Ant's out, I don't know about the Minnesota.
No, I think. Have you been seeing the slander going on with Nikola Jokic on the timeline?
I've not.
A lot of people been calling him out.
For what?
Playing ass. He's played really like below his standards. Really, since he got hurt midway through the year. He got hurt in like December, and since then he hasn't been like the same Jokic almost. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. I mean, Minnesota is 1 game away from advancing. San Antonio, I think Wemby, since he's back now, they'll take care of business, move on. And then the East, I really want to see Orlando upset a 1 seed. Also because there's an argument that I have with some friends about Cade Cunningham versus Paolo, and I think Paolo's better. So I got Orlando moving on there. Cleveland, Toronto's toss-up. New York, I'd probably want New York to win, and then Boston should easily win that series. I mean, who cares about the East?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about the East. I'm focused on Thunder Lakers next round.
Which the Lakers, my goodness, Marcus Smart, have yourself a series. Luke Kennard, have yourself a series. You're down 6. We watched that live. You're down 6 with 25 seconds left.
No, that's how I know that you're real life a LeBron hater, because the fact that you just gave credit to
obviously it's going to be LeBron, but like it's like you got to have these other guys step up.
Yeah. Like
that's why I was saying have yourself a series.
You gave the credit.
Well,
to them
Bron doesn't need any credit. We already
Bron needs his credit.
We already know what Bron's doing.
No, he'll never get his credit from guys like you, from Jordan fans like you. He deserves his credit right now. He's age 97. His own seaman is on the team with him. His 2 best teammates are out, and he's finna gentleman sweep the Rockets.
Well, also, who does the Rockets have out?
KD,
and
who?
Fred VanVleet.
Oh, no. I mean, we have Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves out.
Yeah, you do. You also have LeBron.
Yeah, they have guys also. LeBron, apparently, he was supposed to be washed.
Sengun?
Sengun's not. Sengun he's been balling here lately.
Yes, I've liked his basketball edits on Twitter. They've been kind of funny.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying like how well everybody else has stepped up in their role, and like the way that Luke Kennard has been playing. Like, where has this been at all season?
Nah, well, I
Marcus
agree.
Smart. I know Marcus Smart's been hurt majority of the year, but
Luke Kennard got written off too early as a shooter. He's really a point guard at heart. He just got labeled a shooter because he's white and he can shoot.
He went to Duke.
Yeah, Coach K fucked him up, but it's all right.
I don't know about that. So
That thing just fell.
Oh, dude.
keep it in.
Yeah, we'll just leave
Keep it in. Keep it in the.
We'll have thumbtacks
Yeah.
thumbtacks next week.
Yeah. OKC Phoenix. Phoenix is dog water.
Facts.
Phoenix is trash. OKC is an easy sweep. Thank you, Drew. Thank you for our producer. Look at this. This is low budget right here. Tape.
It's just some electrical.
Scotch tape. Not even
Or
electric.
yeah, Scotch tape.
Scotch tape. There we go. At it, baby. At it.
My boy Drew.
Kid. At it, kid. At it, kid. Drew, what are your thoughts on the NBA playoffs? I know your team is in Cancun with mine, but your overall thoughts so far?
I haven't been able to watch a whole lot of it. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be Thunder Celtics in the finals.
Should be.
Yeah, should be. I don't see anybody in the East. The Pistons are intriguing, but I think they're so young. The Celtics have been there. So when it comes to a 7-game Western or Eastern Conference Finals matchup, I think the Celtics have the edge just from the experience. Kind of the same with Thunder San Antonio. I think it's going to be a Thunder San Antonio matchup in the Western Conference Finals.
That's beautiful.
And it's going to be a battle for OKC for sure. But if the cards all lay the way they should, I think we should be seeing a Thunder Celtics Finals, which would be electric for Oklahoma City.
Which I think Boston's the only team in the East that can compete with the Thunder out of the East.
True.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I mean, if I had to pick, I'm probably picking OKC, San Antonio, Western Conference Finals, and then
I love it.
I wish New York was up top on that East bracket because I would love to see a New York Boston Western Conference Finals to go to the finals. That would be must see TV. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say Orlando, Boston, Eastern Conference Finals. Boston's getting it done. Yeah, I'm with Drew. I got an OKC Boston NBA Finals.
Yeah, I love that both of y'all are already writing off the Lakers. I know we're a long shot. I understand we're not supposed to beat the Thunder. I don't think we're going to beat the Thunder either. But I just love hearing it. I want to be underdogs going into that series.
Y'all will definitely be underdogs. I can promise you that.
But yeah, that is true.
It's going to be funny seeing all the obnoxious Lakers fans out and about too. Because if the Lakers and Thunder, if the Lakers, well, I'm just saying Lakers fans in general, they all are like cockroaches. Like when OKC played Dallas a few years ago in the conference semifinals, the Dallas fans were just flooding Oklahoma City, and they were very obnoxious. It's going to be like that times 10. Because Lakers fans are proud. They're going to be out and about at all the bars, all the Thunder watch parties. There's going to be a lot of Lakers fans out.
That is true. Laker Nation travels.
The great thing is Thunder seem to give them belt to ass every time they play.
Yep, that is true. Unfortunately, that's the reason Luka and AR are hurt right now.
But the thing is that series they won't have J-Dub because J-Dub probably won't come back till the Western Conference Finals, and y'all won't have Luka.
We might not.
Which
have Luka.
Thunder's supporting cast is a little bit better than the Lakers. But
way better, yeah.
Still having J-Dub out.
No, I mean, yeah, that helps us.
Y'all getting Austin Reeves back.
Because now we just got to stop Shea. J-Dub was like that true second option, like true second superstar.
I think you got to stop more than Shea.
Yeah, you got to stop the whistle.
Is AJ Mitchell J-Dub's level? Are we saying that now? Are we saying Chet's J-Dub's level? Like J-Dub was the true Robin to Shea's like Batman.
Chet has
true second option.
Chet has definitely picked up the slack this year, I would say.
Yeah,
and also guys like AJ Mitchell. I mean, they're so deep. Like you're gonna have to hope that all of the role players, like McCain, Kaysen, Wiggins, AJ, you're gonna have to hope that all of them are like just not playing well.
Yeah,
because one of them will give you a 20-point outing for sure.
Isaiah,
one of them's gonna be hitting.
Wiggins, Jay will. Yeah, that's going to be peak content.
You can't just focus on stopping Shea, because if you just focus on stopping Shea, and the rest of the team's hitting.
Well, yeah. I'm not saying like leave them open, but I'm just saying if they don't have their second option, then you can focus in more on Shea without having to worry about like.
You got to have other guys beat you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since we're on a time crunch, I'll save my words until next week's episode, whenever the Lakers and Thunder are confirmed.
Well, yeah, y'all got to take care of business. Y'all got one more game. Is it back in LA?
Mm-hmm.
And that is, let's see, that's Wednesday. Wednesday y'all play. Okay. Yeah, we got some good ball on tonight. I've been hitting on my picks so far in the NBA playoffs, besides the LA Houston, but.
The only bet I made was when the Lakers were down in that fourth quarter and they ended up coming back.
Yeah, I've bet the Hawks money line. That hit big for me one time. I bet Orlando one time. I bet Minnesota. Yeah, NBA playoffs have been nice to me in my bets and slips. But yeah, it's pretty much all that's going on right now. Is just we're chopping through these playoff games. We do have a special episode for you guys on this one. We have a guest appearance, a little guest interview. So that will be following this segment. Do you got anything else to say before we hop into there? There's nothing really. I mean, it's just playoffs.
Yeah. I ain't got no. I'm saving all my Lakers Thunder talk for
the
next
following
episode. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope you
I have
got
a question.
Oh, okay.
If we're doing Lakers Thunder talk next week, are we finally going to have Mr. SGA Superfan on to do a
think
little
it's only
debate?
right.
I don't know. He's being mad pussy. He's like scared to come on.
He's kind of scared of the camera. I'm not gonna lie.
We told him he could do a phone call in, and so he might do that.
Or like
Do just a phone call.
Or like shadow his whole body, face, put him behind a screen, lower his tone so like nobody knows who he is.
Make him anonymous.
Yeah, the anonymous SGA superfan.
We gotta get him on at some point
Yeah.
though, because our arguments are just
only
they're electric.
It is only right. But yeah, so we got playoffs going through. That's what we'll continue to talk about. And hope you guys enjoy this special interview and special episode. So enjoy.
Hot.
Any given weekend, we are back. We have a special episode here today with a special guest. He is our first interview here in the studio.
First ever.
We have Mr. Jordan Davis.
Davis.
You guys for having me.
Had a baby.
Give a round of
Had a baby.
applause
You guys
Had
for
a
having me. I
baby.
appreciate you guys letting me pull up. I've seen all the clips and everything.
Yeah,
so
man.
It's
We-
cool to be here. I appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you pulling up. I know it's a busy time right now, NBA playoffs. For the people that don't know you, you are a sports journalist, reporter at the Oklahoman,
Yes, sir.
and you cover the Thunder and high school sports. So I know with the playoffs going on right now, it's a busy time. So we really appreciate it. Before we jump into what you're doing here in Oklahoma, let's get a little background of you. I know you were born and raised in Chicago.
Yep. Yes.
How was it like growing up in a city like that compared to
Yeah.
Oklahoma City?
It's really well. First, before anything, like I said, I appreciate you guys for having me on. I want to get that on the record. This is like I said, pretty cool experience for me to be here. But like as far as like the difference between here and like growing up like in Chicago and various here, I mean, it's just like I live downtown now, and when I first moved here, I lived like in upper like near the village basically.
Okay.
And it was very quiet. Like it's something like I was not used to like living in a neighborhood that quiet or like that. And that was my biggest thing is just how like it's very like quiet and it's not really like much going on. So I was like, you know what? Let me go and move somewhere where I guess there is more going on and I can actually see people and go outside and get more of a community feel, in my opinion. And that's kind of what downtown is kind of like given to me now. Whereas like Chicago, I grew up in the suburbs, so it was like it's very similar to like the village, but like 10 minutes up the road, it's ruckus and it's a lot going on. I went to a big high school, so it's just people outside all the time. You see people outside all the time. And so I kind of wanted to mimic that. Once I got my feet wet here after my first year, I was like, let me move where there are a lot of more people. And so, just the biggest difference is like everything here is a 10 to 15 minute drive. Like I just drove 20 minutes to get here and it was like nothing. And it was about 13 miles probably to get from downtown to here. Whereas if I was going downtown to where I lived back at home, it's probably about
30, 40 minutes.
30, 40 minutes. If it's traffic, maybe an hour.
Yeah.
And it could potentially be the same distance depending on where you're coming from. But it's just less people. So it's obviously less populated, meaning that it's more space to get around, or less things to do. But for me, that's perfect. Like I said, I grew up in an environment where it was a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I was very overstimulated at a young age. So coming out here, I've learned to appreciate my own space, I guess you could say more.
Yeah. And Chicago, I think I'm the only one here that's been to Chicago. And it's a dope city. Like
Yeah.
we went as like a mission trip. Freshman year of high school, stayed in Garfield Park.
Yeah.
If you know where Garfield Park is.
That's up north. I'm from the south side of Chicago,
Okay.
or the south suburbs of Chicago.
Got you.
So it's crazy because there's not a lot of places like I said, it's not like here. Like the beauty of me living downtown is and covering high school sports is where I can go many different places. Where
You're in the middle.
I'm in the middle, exactly. Like I'm 15 minutes from Norman, 15 minutes from Edmond, or 20 minutes from Edmond to a degree, 15 minutes from Bethany. Like it's, like I can go everywhere. It's like Chicago. It's like there's parts of the west side of Chicago or the west suburbs of Chicago I've never been to. North suburbs. We don't really have east. But like there's even parts of the south suburbs where I grew up from that I just have not like tapped into.
Yeah.
So it's like like I said, it's like obviously one of the 3 largest metropolitan areas in the country. So it's like there's so much that you don't see that I still haven't seen, where I feel like even living here just for 3 years that I've seen pretty much all there is to see in Oklahoma City. And I like love that. So I love it here though. So it's been cool to move here. A lot of people spoke down on it. Like I remember when I first decided to move here, I looked like YouTube videos and was listening to a lot of what people from here had to say. And it was a lot like negative, or like people around the age, my age or in their 20s, like trying to figure out like what it is, how things are in Oklahoma City. And I don't know. I heard a lot of negative, and my experience here couldn't be more of the opposite.
And when did you move here?
2023.
2023. Because it was straight out of college, correct?
Technically, yeah. I had an internship in Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi. I covered Southern Miss baseball, Jackson State football, and then just a few other things to our region. Like SEC sports, basically Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Did a lot of like trending stuff for them, and then saw this job online and decided to apply. So took the chance, came out here, moved in August 24, 2023. I moved out here.
Got you.
So
from college, you went to NC A&T.
North Carolina A&T State. Yep.
State, got you. And that's D1, right?
It is D1. It's a D1 historically black college.
Gotcha.
So it's HBCU. They play. When I was in school, they played in 3 different conferences, but I believe they're in the Big South right now. Before then, they were in like the MEAC. I think before that, the CAA, I believe. But yeah, it's the D1 school. D1. Their basketball isn't the greatest.
I've heard of them before, though.
Yeah, because it's a lot. They're like a lot of times they're like. I remember. I think they were like Bronny James's first. Like one of his first D1
games.
offers, other than like Duke.
Matchup, yeah.
Yeah. Like they give a lot of the phenoms, quote unquote, their first offer.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, nobody's coming to A&T for basketball. I would love to see it, but
yeah,
unfortunately.
And did you cover basketball for them, or what did you during college?
So during college, I did a little bit of everything. But at A&T, I did. So when I first got to A&T, well, just background. I went to Hampton University, which was another HBCU in Virginia, my first year after I graduated high school in 2018. Decided to go there. It was a great experience. I wouldn't trade it back for anything. Small environment, private school, obviously the money aspect of it. And then just me going to a big high school. Like my high school was bigger than Hampton my first year. So I was like, it's a little too small. Like I wanted something more intimate, but like not too big.
Yeah.
But so after my first year, I was like, you know what, let me try to find somewhere else. And A&T was always my second choice when I was, deciding which colleges I was going to go to. I went to a bunch of, I went to several or a lot of like college road trips and visits and stuff when I was in my senior year of high school. And I just, not settled, but I wanted to go to Hampton because I really enjoyed the atmosphere there. And by the end of my time there, I was like, I want to do something different. So I went to North Carolina A&T. So the first like 2-3 years there, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really do anything. Like I was involved, but like not really. The pandemic happened, ended up moving back home for a year and some change. And like I was a student, but like I wasn't obviously a part of, like I had just transferred there and then the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
So it's like I didn't
get that full experience.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily have the full experience. And then, mind you, this is the largest historically black college, so it's 16,000 people there. So it's a big change from what I'm accustomed to. So I didn't even get like my feet wet for real, honestly. While I was there, I didn't really do much. I worked with the newspaper a little bit for the first year, and then the pandemic came. Went back home, like I said, for a year and a half, and then I came back, moved back out there. And I kind of just hit this wall where I was a junior in college. I'm like, okay, like, and my mom is like wondering, like she's worrying, like I'm overhearing her talk to her friends, and people are like outside of her are asking me like, what's going, like my mom's friends are asking me like, oh, what's next, Jordan? What are you doing? Like, and I'm never hearing it from my mom.
Yeah,
so I'm like, okay, I can feel like the pressure on me to like, okay, like I have to lock in.
Yeah.
So I started like going on websites. There's this place called, there's a website, I forgot, it wasn't LinkedIn, but it was a similar version of LinkedIn for colleges.
Connections.
It's something, I think it's something Connect, but it's crazy that you say that word. But yes, it was a place for you that had internships locally. It could have been like a hole in the wall place. And if they had it on this website, it was an internship. And I won't say, and I no to disrespect to Spectacular Magazine, it was this magazine that I worked for in Durham, North Carolina. Got me my first start. I'm forever grateful for them. Lawrence Davis, who was their sports editor, his mom, who was the overall editor, and they gave me a shot. I started out covering NC State women's basketball. I saw that like on there. They needed a reporter for Wolfpack. They needed a reporter for NC State women's basketball. And I'll never forget, he had the conversation with me when I first started. He's like, you know, are you comfortable covering things that you might not want to cover to be able to do things that you want to do? And I was the only one, like there was about 10 or 15 people on staff, and I was pretty much doing everything. I was posting articles, editing articles, all while I'm still obviously at school. I'm the sports editor of my newspaper at the A&T. So I was doing a lot. Like I'm covering a basketball team there, NC State women's basketball. The summer comes, and he asked me, he's like, do you want to cover Durham Bulls baseball? Mind you, I am not a baseball guy. Yeah. Like I'm not gonna say I dislike it, but it's not something that I find to be enjoying for me to watch unless I'm in the space. Yeah. And that summer I couldn't physically be there all the time, so I was virtually covering Durham Bulls. Like I had a whole subscription and everything. And
is that like a semi-pro team?
Yes, it's a AA team for, I believe, what's it, the Marlins in Miami?
Yeah. Triple A, actually.
Oh,
Triple A for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Tampa Bay, sorry. Rays. Lord, my bad. But yeah, I covered Durham Bulls baseball in summer 2022. And at that point, I was drained. Like I was like debating, like even if I should still do this, because it wasn't, obviously it's not lucrative. Like I'm still in college. I'm pretty much, I was doing things for free. Let's just say that. Like I was essentially, like it was gas money, but essentially doing things for free. That
internship.
Yeah, it's an internship experience. Yeah. And I was drained. Like I didn't want to do it anymore. But I had also built a lot of connections just doing this. So because of that, started covering NC State football in the fall. And because of that, eventually started covering Duke, which is what I always wanted to do. So I covered Duke boys basketball 2022-23 season. They went undefeated at home. I didn't travel with the team, so every story I was used to writing was on the winning side of things. And from that moment on, like everything kind of just went up. I got an internship. It's called Sports Journalism Institute. It is an internship program that helps kids from it's kind of like, I guess you could say DEI to a degree. It's still inexistent, but it was an internship program to help people from either HBCUs or just minorities be able to get into the business. And was able to get that internship with a lot of guys. You know, we had this boot camp in the summer of June 2023, and it was a lot of people that you guys know that are like alums of this, that you probably like Michael Wilbon. Sorry if I'm blanking on her name. Malika Andrews, she was in SJI is what they call it. I can go down the list, but it's so many other people that this was their start in journalism. I applied for that, got in, and like I said, got to Jackson, Mississippi, and got to here because of it. So I know that was very long-winded. I appreciate you guys. But it's been a roller coaster just to get here. Yeah, I've lived in, like I tell people all the time, lived in 5 different states in the last 7 years. So it's been a pretty interesting road, but I'm glad that I finally got here.
Yeah,
I feel like able to talk to you guys right now.
Yeah, I feel like with journalists and reporters, like the best stories are those ones of like the people that are doing like the stuff for free, the like underground stuff that no one likes. Who was on that Duke 2022-2023 team?
That's Derek Whitehead. That's right before Jerry McCain came. Like that's the year before Jerry McCain, and
so that was Kyle
Lively.
Filipowski.
Yeah.
So they were good. They were really good that year.
They were good.
Yeah.
They went to the I think they might have went to the
Sweet
route. No, they went to the
16 or-
round of 32. They lost to Tennessee that year
Okay, yeah.
in the round of 32.
That was Tyrese Proctor. He was there.
Yes, Tyrese Proctor. So they had a good team, but it's like it was. I think that was Shire's first year too.
Yeah.
So that was right after Coach K had retired and everything. So it was a lot to cover. It was a lot of moving pieces. A lot of the players got hurt that year, and like I said, I didn't travel, but it was fun. Like covering the Duke and North Carolina game, like in Cameron Indoor, like it's atmosphere like no other. I mean, that's a place that has like what 5,000 seats in it, I think, or something.
Yeah.
And it's
Fans
like,
are just right on top.
yeah,
of
it's an amazing. They have press row right there at half court. So like I said, it's experience that I probably will never ever get again. But like I'm grateful for it all. It's been pretty cool. Though.
And so you did every home game.
Every home game, like I said, they went 18-0, I think, that year. So
Wow.
every single home game I was present for. I drove an hour from Greensboro to Durham every day, or every week, or once, twice a week to be able to go to the games. And if they were playing locally, NC State, UNC, I would do the same thing. So, yeah.
Dude, I'm jealous of that because I'm a huge Duke fan.
There you go.
And so that's one of my like bucket lists is going to
Cameron Indoor.
Yeah, Cameron
Yeah.
Indoor, get
Like I
a
said,
little
it's nothing
tour.
like
and-
it.
Yeah.
You need to go.
Yes,
like
that's
at least just once in the next.
that. And I don't know if you've heard of like the K Academy.
I know. Is that what they do? The
Where like it's the
players
old
coach or
men.
something?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know
You have to
what
be
you're
like 40. You have to be like it's like a age limit, but you have to.
men's league.
Yeah, you basically you go to this camp and you get drafted by like all
Yeah, the players and then they
Duke
coach.
alumni.
Yeah, yeah, that too. Yeah.
You get the hoop like in Cameron Indoor?
Yeah, like you get draft like Jason Tatum will have his own like team of like 40-plus-year-old dudes.
Really? That's
But,
a thing?
K Academy, yeah. They have basketball.
right up
and
there.
They give them
alley.
pennies
Dude,
and
I
everything.
would
Yeah.
as soon as I turn 40, I'm submitting my
Great.
application.
It's pretty fun. I didn't get a chance to, and it's crazy. Me being there for just 1 year, like I was mad because I think the year after and the year before that they did the media game where the coaches against the media.
Really?
And I'm like, man, bro. Like I wish. I don't know if it was the coaches or the media or media versus media, but either way, you're playing in
Yeah.
Cameron Indoor.
Yeah,
so
you
it was
would've been
like
in there.
that's pretty. And I know, like I don't know if you guys saw, but the Celtics did it last year with their media, like the people that cover them. And
saw that.
yeah, it's like stuff like I don't know. That has always been like something that I'm like, I'm waiting for that day. Just call my name, call and say we're doing the media versus
Thunder,
coaches.
get it done right
No,
now.
not right. The coach. Well, it's crazy because they asked Dagnall about it last year, and he was like, "Yeah, no, we're not doing that." but yeah, we would lose obviously by like 80 points, but it was something pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
That'd
yeah,
be dope. That'd be dope. So going out of or going into college, did you know or like did you were you like, yeah, I want to go full-time journalism and
yeah.
sports reporting and
So in high school, actually, so the answer to that is no. I did not know. Like in high school, I covered in high school. So once I decided to stop playing basketball, my junior year, I was like, okay, I want to stay around basketball in some capacity. And I didn't know how to do that at first. Because I'm like, well, they're like, oh, you could be a writer. Never picked up, but like I was a good in English class and stuff. But as far as like actually putting pen to paper and like putting my thoughts on a paper and then making it make sense to a reader, I wasn't like interested in that. So I was like, okay, what's the next best thing? And around that time was like the boom of Baller's Life, like in the mixtape era. Like, everybody has a camera now. Everybody makes mixtapes now, but that's what like Baller's Life. Like I said, Scott Baller's Life is his name, and he's like the GOAT of like high school mixtapes, in my opinion, because he was from Chicago. We saw him out at games all the time, and he basically does what I do now, just in a video form, kind of. And yeah, I was so enamored with that. So like, you know what? Let me pick up a camera. I went to our broadcasting company. We had a broadcasting studio and at our school and a company. I joined our it's called Viking. So I went to Homo Flossmoor High School in the broadcasting club. It's called Viking TV, and they would show VTV every day at lunchtime, like before class starts, and everybody will watch just like updates. People do skits, music videos, like, and I was enamored just with being behind the camera, which is kind of ironic. I'll get back to how I'm doing it now, but long story short, I was always enamored with that. So once I went to school, I was like, okay, how can I do this? You can't major in, depending on what school you go to, you can't major in like videography or cinematography or stuff like that. So the next best thing is journalism, mass communications, or broadcast journalism. So that's what I majored in. So I always figured that it was obviously be something in media, but I didn't know that it would turn into journalism until I got to A&T, and like I just fell in love with the writing process, reading a lot of writers that people grew up talking about, whether it be the Reed Thompsons or Jeff Pearlmans of the world, and a lot of people like again that you guys see on TV were great. Michael Wilbon, great writers before they became TV personalities. So I'm like, okay, maybe that's my come up to getting to where I want to get to is writing. And instead of TV, it just became picking up the camera again and personally taking photos and videos now. And I first did that when I was at Duke. Put it down when I got back here and then picked it back up again recently. So
Yeah.
Jordan, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
So growing up in Chicago, were you a Bulls fan
Yes.
at heart?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bulls, Bears, probably the whole.
Sox, no Cubs.
Sox, okay.
Cubs is a North Side thing, and I know people been watching this, or you guys might be Cubs fans because the WGN thing. No,
Yeah, no Cubs
There
fans
you go.
here, thankfully.
so but yeah, I'm a Sox fan, South Side, like I said. But yes, I grew up. So it's crazy because I always tell the story. Like one of the reasons that I got into journalism, I used to wake up every single day or a couple times a week. And we got newspapers delivered to our house, Chicago Tribune, and they would come to our house every day. And every day I would turn to the back page of the paper and obviously read Bulls, Bears, Sox, even Cubs, depending on who it is. And that was like my introduction kind of to journalism and wanting to even like take it seriously. And yeah, I used to fall asleep. It's crazy because when the Bulls played the Thunder recently, I saw their radio guy, and like he was in the press conference. And I was like, man, this guy sounds so familiar. Like it was like, and he said his name. I'm like, it's Chuck Swirsky. I'm like, oh man, like I used to listen to this guy I had a radio next to my bed every single night. Like I didn't even watch all Bulls games because my mom was like at a certain time, like, I think it was like 9:00 was our curfew. So I couldn't even, I didn't have a TV in my room. So I couldn't watch the game. So I would listen to the games, and he would do the pregame, he would do the games, then the post games. And then I heard this same voice and I saw him at the Thunder. I'm like, oh man, this is the guy that I would literally fall asleep. It might sound crazy. I literally used to fall asleep to this guy's voice.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I was a huge Bulls fan from the time I could remember up until probably 20, until I graduated. And then obviously we see what they are now, and that's where things start to tumble and get out of hand. But yeah, I would say I was a Bulls fan, not the biggest, or not a fan really. I would love to see them win, but yeah, not necessarily.
I figured you probably were growing up in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean that's
everybody's a
heroes.
Bears fan.
Yeah,
for the most part, yeah.
Everybody's a Bears fan. Like I said, you got to pick your poison with the Sox and Cubs. But I mean, especially during that era with Derrick Rose and just what he was able to accomplish, Luol Deng, Joakim Noah, the whole nine, Coach Thibodeau. And yeah, they got rid of that. And then that's when LeBron really started like beating up on him. So I was like, oh.
Back
Well,
when,
the Derrick Rose
back when Jimmy
injury
Butler
was
played,
tough, too.
Yeah, Jimmy
Thibodeau
Butler.
ran him into the ground. He
Yeah.
played 48 minutes every
Yeah.
single night.
I was there the years where Derrick Rose was hurt, and like you had the random guys that would just step in, like Nate Robinson and C.J. Watson and Mike James and stuff. So yeah, big Bulls fan growing up for sure.
I got a more loaded question. If you had to do a Mount Rushmore for Chicago high school hoopers,
We're getting into it.
because I've heard
got that
the
history.
John Shire
Yeah.
stories.
John Shire.
I've heard
Benji?
Patrick Beverly,
Yeah. Benji
Benji.
Wilson.
I've heard Pat
Yeah.
Bev averaging 40. If you had to have a Mount Rushmore of Chicago
Jabari
high school
Parker.
hoopers,
Yeah.
what would be your Mount Rushmore?
So I'm just gonna go off kids that I saw. So people I saw in person, or like I grew up around, or just my era. Jabari Parker obviously is he's like a king in Chicago, like especially around the time that I was growing up.
Simeon.
I actually played for his AAU basketball team. Yes, Simeon guy. Jabari Parker, Jaleel Okafor, Whitney Young. Went Duke guy. Went to Duke as
guy.
well. Great basketball player. Taylor Horton Tucker from he also went to Simeon. One
I
of
did
the
not know that. I did not
I didn't
know.
know he
yes,
was from Chicago.
he's from Chicago. Yes, great player. Great.
He
high
was like that in high school?
man, if I go to my Snapchat, there's been a couple of times I went to like a few games and he just like took over.
Yeah.
Yeah, those three, and then like I could say like a few. Alonzo Verge is his name. Now you probably never heard of him. He went to Arizona State in hoops for a while, but that guy was a problem. So it's like I'll give you 3 NBA guys, and then like I said, I didn't want to give 4, but I mean you could go. There's so many names. Ayo Dosunmu was playing in high school at that time. We're all the same. Me, him, Taylor, we're all the same age. So you see all these kids all at the same time. So basketball wise, that would have to be my 4.
Is Chicago is that the hoops capital of the world? Do they have the best NBA hoopers?
Well, don't they call the Mecca like
They say New York. They say I think it's probably like California.
Cali,
if
yeah.
you just look at like the Hall of Famers that like you got Paul George, James Harden, Russ.
Yeah.
Just so I mean I can go. The list goes on. I mean I would say it's California. Some people say North Carolina. Some people say Texas. I think Chicago used to be up there. As of late, we haven't really had like superstars be produced from Illinois as much. Like I'm sure there's here and there, but like not as much as like I said as Cali or New York or Texas. So
I think Jeremiah Fears is the only one that I know from Chicago right now. He's gonna put on. Yeah,
he's from Chicago. He's from Joliet. His brother Jeremy Fears, who just
Michigan State.
Michigan State. He just I believe I'm not mistaken. He declared for the draft a few days ago. Morris Johnson that plays for Michigan. He's from Chicago.
Michigan guy, right?
So yeah, we have a few people. I'm sure that there's more that I'm like blanking on, but there's a lot of really good players. Terrence Shannon from the Timberwolves also from Chicago. So, but yeah,
got you. Yeah, Chicago's.
They got some underground hoopers.
I always remember watching the 30 for 30 about Benji. I was like, man,
facts.
I mean, he's a legend. A god in the city. I mean, like you said, they talk about him.
Simeon High School has that rich history.
Yeah, of course. I mean, so Kendrick Nunn went to Simeon as well. Played with Jabari Parker.
Damn, I didn't know that.
There's so many. It's people like you wouldn't even know or like you wouldn't even think about. But there's so many. It's like I said, it's just so the culture there, just basketball in general, like the culture in general, but like also basketball on top of it is like no other. I mean, like I said, it's just so many different places. Like that's just Chicago. Like there's like you just said, John Shire is not technically from Chicago, but he's from Illinois and northern Illinois. So it's like he falls into that realm of player, and there's a bunch of players like that are the same way. So
and compared to like Oklahoma hoops, high school hoops, what is like what's the biggest classification for?
It's
Chicago.
crazy. So we only have 4 classes in Illinois, if I'm not mistaken. It's only 4 classes, where here, it's like 9. Yeah. And they go from 6A all the way down to
A1, A2.
They split class beat it this year, which was crazy to me. But in football, it's like 6A1 to Class C, which is 14 classes. We have to cover 14 high school football state championships, which is crazy. But sorry, I don't know. You're asking like what's the difference? Are you
what was the? I was just wondering about the classification. Yeah. Like, what would I'm guessing 6A would be like the 4A of
I think it goes up to 7A. I think it goes 7A to 4A. So it's 7A, 6A, 5A, 4A, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that's how they do classifications there. And then because of that, like, and which is, I'm gonna be honest, not to like slander or like to like down talk on Oklahoma high school sports, but I find that kind of like they're just being 4 state champions. Like I find that more like
competitive.
Yes, I do. Especially because it's way more teams. Like I get it. It's like we don't want all these small town teams to like not feel like they're getting the proper shine or due. Or I get it. Like I get it. I really do. But at the same time, you could say that about Illinois and all these other states that only have X amount of classes instead of 14 classes or 12 classes in comparison to here. So, I mean, it is what it is, but I do think that it is more competitive. Like, there's teams that are like, there's only 8 teams that make the states. So it's like there are teams that don't make it, that only make area or regionals or sectionals down there that are championship caliber teams. They just did not get it over the hump.
Yeah.
So
got to play more people.
Yeah, so it's like that. Then we have city championships in Chicago.
That's what I was going to ask about. Yeah, because I knew a little bit about city. So there's like city sectional champions, and then you got to win through that to get to state.
Pretty much. Yeah, I believe that. I don't want to. I don't want to like spread misinformation. I don't want to say like what it is if it's not. But I'm pretty sure. I know for a fact they have a city championship. And Simeon used to run through the city championships. I remember seeing Simeon play. I remember seeing Jabari play Jaleel Okafor for a city title back in the day. Like
what a game that was!
like
oh my god!
Literally, like it was like that type of stuff is like it would literally just be like if Oklahoma City teams all played for a city title and then you go on to state. So I think the city title is like early or late February or might be even earlier than that in January. And then the state is obviously in March and stuff. So,
gotcha.
But yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oklahoma needs to add a city title. Now that we're talking about that would be so electric. All the best city teams come together for a title before state.
Yeah, they kind of do that, mimic it with like Tournament of Champions, but like all the teams that are champions aren't necessarily always in it. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I do think that they should do that.
That'd be electric.
Well, more of it, yeah. Instead of being in Tulsa, of like a state fair arena.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Gosh, hold on, lost my train of
You're
thought.
good. But yeah, I think but in general, the basketball here, which is one of the things I wanted to talk about, is just like how underrated I feel like high school basketball is in Oklahoma. Like in the grand scheme of things, like we have so many Division I caliber kids that might not get the same exposure as a kid from Texas or a kid from Atlanta or Alabama, or because we don't necessarily have the same media, which is obviously part of my job, is to help push these kids out there and expose them. But we don't have the same media push just overall around that a lot of surrounding states do. And I feel like a lot of the time, because we're seeing it now, a lot of these kids we know how like the transfer portal is and things, and how that stuff goes, but we have a lot of late bloomers. But then you have also a lot of early guys that kind of flew under the radar. Like, who's the kid from Weatherford that was just playing for Iowa recently? Tate Sage.
Yeah.
Like a kid like that, like flew under a lot of people's radars.
Now his brother's going to
Ethan Sage.
Belmont now.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like kids like that, like that are in like I call it like the boonies, like the middle of nowhere. I mean, Weatherford isn't necessarily the boonies, but you know what I'm saying? Like there are in like place him. There's a kid right now at Roland, DeMonte Owens, one of the best players that I've seen since I've been in Oklahoma, and led his team to 3A state championship game against Millwood.
Yep.
And he's one of the better players, and nobody talks about him in the grand scheme of things. Like, and it's crazy to me because, like I said, like a lot of these kids from smaller areas aren't able to get the proper like representation and a proper spotlight on them for whatever reason, you know. But that's why I take my job as seriously as I do, because it's so many kids that do fly under the radar. And at the end of the day, we're trying to get these kids to college, and they have the talent to be able to play at that next level. So to be able to showcase, which is why I love seeing teams like Mocan go to Atlanta and Peach Jam, and
With
be able to legends
popping
same thing.
off.
Yeah, that's why I like to see like the local. Even when like Team Griffin was here and Team Trey Young before they merged, even like I was at Puma last weekend, next pro this
Which
past
Puma's
weekend.
growing.
Yeah, Puma's growing. Pro 16. You have Adidas circuit. Like it's so many talented players that I would love to see them stay in Oklahoma, but also understand getting out and going to different states and really competing. So that's been pretty cool to see. But like I said, I think Mocan's team this year, if I'm not mistaken, the team that Tyson and like Boogie Bradshaw on, isn't the whole team or most
a lot
of the team
of Oklahoma
from Oklahoma?
kids. Yeah.
And they're competing. So it's like I said, I think that is something that I feel like needs to be stated. And I feel like Oklahoma kids fly under the radar too often. And there's some really good talent here. And even the kids that are getting put on, not on blast, but on the spotlight, I feel like there's kids that are also even better, right under them, or haven't blossomed into that star that they could be yet. So it's been fun to watch, and it's been a pleasure really to be able to cover and help showcase them.
And that goes back to like you saying, you're covering. How do you manage your time because you also do Thunder and you also have to do other high school sports. How do you manage, like what team to go see or what player to go see, or like what's your day to day?
It's a good question. It really depends on like what the season is, what's going on in my life, what's going on, what my job wants me to do. So there's a lot that I want to do that necessarily isn't like in the plans for us to be able to do. For example, like I was just saying, I want to go to the Thunder games and cover all of the Thunder games that I can. Obviously, high school comes first for me as well, though. So it's like if a slow pitch state championship is going on at the same time as game one, I'm gonna have to go to slow pitch state championships. And I've run into that a lot. Like I think I went to the state championships for basketball, like it was 2 weeks, right? So I think like the only day I had off was like the Monday in between, and that was when the Thunder played the Nuggets and Shea hit the shot. I think that was to tie the Wilt record.
I remember that.
He hit the game winner.
Yeah.
So it's like, but long story short, I say all that to say like it's not really. I don't really have days off. That's the big takeaway that I have from this job. Like it's like if anything happens, and then how news is 24/7. So it's like right now I'm sitting on this couch. If a 5-star player commits to Alabama, and I get the text or it pops up on my phone,
Putting it out there,
I have to immediately, okay, hold on, guys, let me type this story up real quick. Or if unfortunately, like there's been incidents where players have, or like athletes have gotten into car accidents, or unfortunately passed away, that I have to drop everything that I'm doing and write about that. Or, even the Thunder, if something happens and nobody's around, I have to catch it. So it's like you always have to be on your toes. Like I literally carry a backpack. My backpack's in the car right now. Like I carry a backpack with a laptop pretty much everywhere I go. So definitely the work-life balance is hard, but like recently, just made a year with my girlfriend. So she helps out with a lot of that too, and kind of keeps me. She's like, okay, you have to get out of this.
Keeps
workaholic.
you leveled.
Yeah, you have to get out of this workaholic, space, and like, 'cause, that's just what I'm used to. Like, just it's at the end of the day, I could talk about basketball in my sleep. I could talk about NBA in my sleep, high school boys basketball. Not the biggest college basketball guy, but like, a lot of that stuff doesn't feel like work to me necessarily. So, I have recently had to learn to like, okay, like lower your stress, make sure you're taking some time off for yourself. But yeah, it's definitely not the easiest job though.
Yeah, seems like a busy schedule. I mean,
Yeah,
especially covering all of
yeah.
high school sports. That's year round
Yeah.
almost.
So it's like to start the year, I cover football and softball, and I love covering softball. Like softball is like, honestly, I have more fun covering softball than I do football, just because of like I said, like a lot of the football players, like especially football here, it's not like basketball. Like football, they have plenty of, like if you're good at football. I mean, basketball, I feel like to a degree, like the film will show if you're really like that, But football, just the grassroots and the guys from like that are
Well, it's so dominant now in football too. I mean, Bixby, Oklahoma is just
exactly one of the best programs in the country.
Yes.
So it's like you have that spotlight here, which puts spotlight on the other kids. I mean, but kids have been coming from NFL level. Like some of the best players in the NFL, or some of the top players at positions in the NFL, come from Oklahoma in football. So it's different. But softball is the same thing. Like softball, we have, and I know women's basketball is kind of the same way. Like women's basketball, I think we have more D1 recruits or Power 4 girls in women's over the last 5 years than we have men's. And softball is the same thing. Some of the best players, and Alyssa Parker right now is one of the best players in the country. Home fed from Pensacola, Oklahoma, is playing at OU right now. A lot of like the softball scene is where it's at. Like where a lot of the best players. If you look at like Softball America and rankings, like a lot of the best players in the country come from Oklahoma, and you wouldn't even know that. But like that's why I've appreciated it more, just because like I don't feel like they have like the same kind of push, like I said, that football and basketball do, or baseball as other sports do, which is why I love covering them as well. So, so like I said, football, softball in the fall, then strictly boys basketball. I cover a little bit of swimming in the winter, and then right now I'm covering track, slow pitch softball, and tennis. So on top of, like I said,
You said covering swimming?
Yeah.
Is that low key tough to do a little bit?
Oh no, because from my vantage point, like. So just to give you guys a little secret, like, my bosses care a lot about like page views. What are people looking for? Okay, if they're looking for this name or this sport or that sport is more like, which is softball has a lot of page views, which is why like softball, like Women's College World Series and OU softball, like that gets more page views or more like eyes on it than the Thunder do even sometimes. And so that's really what drives like our sports news is OU softball, even as much as football, if not more. But in softball in general, like it's been cool. And then, like you said, swimming. It's more so about like the times. It's just like track. Like it's not necessarily like I write feature stories. I don't go to each event and write about what happened at the event.
Or if there's like a cool storyline about an individual.
So it's more so that like I get to choose before I go out. I'm like, okay, I know about this track runner. I know about this swimmer. They broke this record. They're, heralded as one of the, better swimmers or just athletes in their sport. I'm going to go out and write about them in that kind of way. It's not more like event coverage like, basketball necessarily. So,
gotcha. So then from high school sports, getting the job at the Oklahoma, did the Thunder, covering the Thunder, come with that position as well?
No, it's the same thing. Like it's like I went obviously, so I've always wanted to cover the NBA. I didn't really care. Like I had a few other job offers I could have took, but I was like, okay, obviously the only job that I could have took, I could have either went back to cover Duke or cover high school sports, and like Duke kind of be in the same vein as what I do for the Thunder now.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? There's an NBA team in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
So I felt like I would be dumb to either go back to Mississippi or to go back to North Carolina. And even though like my whole goal was to cover the NBA in the first place.
To level up,
in high school. Like I was like, okay, eventually. And I always thought I would be old and gray, like in my 50s or my late 40s until I would be able to get a shot in the NBA. Like it was always high school sports, then college, then the NBA. Like that's always been, at least for like, I don't want to say casually, but for the most part, like that's always been the trajectory. Is like you start off in covering high schools, then you cover college, a college team, and then you cover NBA team, like beat wise.
Yeah.
And I was able to kind of shortcut my way into that because we had there was unfortunately some layoffs and some people left the organization. They didn't fill their role. So we started becoming spread thin where they're like, okay, we need help on certain things. Mm-hmm. So I didn't cover the Thunder until the playoffs.
Of last year?
No, 2024 I did like a little bit. And I would write sidebars on, during that series, it was during that playoffs, it was the Pelicans and then it was the Mavericks. So
Okay.
So yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, so the Thunder was not didn't really come into the picture more like, I guess you could say, on the day-to-day basis until this year. I got a season pass this year. So I've been able to go to every game.
Every game, yeah.
That was also I told my boss when I first moved here, I want to cover the NBA. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it with you. I want to cover the Thunder. I understand that my first job is high school sports, but I want you to also know I eat, sleep, live basketball in general. And if you can do anything basketball related, if it's college basketball, high school basketball, I want to be able to run point or at least have some say in helping run point on those things. So, everything basketball related, if I can get to it, I'm pretty much their guy.
Yeah.
So.
And have you asked Thunder players questions before,
He had
you do
one,
that a lot of games.
Yeah.
So
I'm
by
in the locker
now,
room
the questions you don't really get nervous for.
It depends.
how do you prepare for that? Because I know I feel like sometimes reporters can ask the same question but just word it differently. Yeah. Do you have do you see anything throughout the game that you're I'm going to go back to that, or
that's a good
just
question.
Choose something that nobody else is really talking about?
It depends. So you have your people in there that their jobs are to ask the hard questions, the hard hitting questions. You have people that are in there to throw softballs. There's some people ask softball questions. And then you have your kind of your do it all kind of guys that can really much, that are asking silly questions, that are trying to get more out of them. Because obviously a presser can kind of get formulaic after a while. You're hearing somewhat of the same questions after every game, or you're going to hear definitely the same question in every single press conference, just like you said, layered in a different way or asked in a different way. In my opinion, I feel I try to, like you just said, and it was just right there. I try to watch what's actually going on, not the big plays. It might be something for example, Chet, a few weeks ago, I was at a game, and I think I asked Chet about it. I don't even know if I asked Chet. I think I might have asked AJ Mitchell about it, but Chet and AJ Mitchell were at half court, and they were having an exchange where it seemed like AJ was a bit confused, or they were just there was a miscommunication after the play at hand or during the play at hand that led to a bucket. And during the free throw, I think Chet told him to come over, and they sorted it out. And that's what I led my story and my questions with in the locker room, where I was what was that about? What goes into that? What is that conversation like? What is it like? How did you guys kind of build to get to that place where it was okay, your communication is on point? It's more so stuff like that I, try to get into, or it's the small things. Everybody's going to go for Jokic and Jalen Williams, trying to, choke each other out or whatever, where it's what about the guy that's at the bottom of the pile, or somebody that doesn't run immediately in there, or the guy that's holding them back? I think that there's so many other ways that you can go with questions, and the beauty of it is we're able to get locker room access. So it's they bring two players to the podium, they bring Mark Dagnall to the podium, and then in between, I can go to the locker room and ask players. Obviously, if they're not you're not going to get Shea in the locker room.
Yeah.
But it's you can ask guys like Jerry McCain or AJ Mitchell or Isaiah Joe. You can ask them. You can have one-on-one space to ask them what you want to ask them, and direct the conversation in a way that you're not going to get when they're at the podium. So I appreciate both of those venues as far as asking questions go, though.
I bet that's a surreal feeling walking into an NBA locker room, especially for the first time. I'd be
it was a bit
how
weird
did I
when
get
first
here?
Did it, though. It was because you walk in and you're seeing people getting changed and stuff that's. I definitely feel maybe they should wait till everybody has their clothes on, but You know what? Like I tell people all the time, like obviously, you know, I cover high school basketball, so kids are always seeing me taking pictures or around the Thunder and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, you don't like Shea, or how are they really like, or you know, what is it like to be around?" And like I said, honestly, I've been around so many like top tier athletes even since I was little. Like I said, when I played for Jabari Barker's AAU team, so it's like you see guys like that. I played with Taylor Horton Tucker when I was little, Ayo Dosunmu when I was little. So it's like I've seen a lot of these guys like before. So it's like I don't really look at them like they're like, oh, like, you know, like when they walk a room and it's like an aura, quote unquote, or like SGA's aura. Like obviously Shea carries himself a different way, but it's like I don't look at them kind of like in that vein. You know, at the end of the day, obviously they're still people. That's obviously first and foremost. But also, like I said, I've covered so many guys that were either 5 stars, and like I just said at Duke, like you're covering like this is the cream of the cream, like the top of the top. So it's like guys like that, just, you know, like they're athletes at the end of the day. It's pretty cool that they are who they are, and it's cool to be in the rooms, but I don't really look at it like that, because at the end of the day, I have a job to do, they have a job to do. So it's like you know, it's nothing more than that necessarily to me, but it's obviously cool and something I've dreamt of like a lot of my life when I was
I'm the total opposite. I would cream my pants and
I'd be so nervous.
I'd be like, oh my god.
Have you asked a question to Shea before in the media?
I've asked Shea several questions. Like I said, he's a bit, you know, different than everybody else.
Nonchalant.
Like, he's like, you can't really ask. Well, you can, but like, how do I explain it? Like, he's not gonna give you the answer that like a J-Dub will, or like Jerry McCain, obviously, or, you know, everybody has different personalities, but he's so like, you know, like it's hard to always get him on his, get him off his toes, I guess you could say. But yeah, I've asked him several questions before.
What's the most, not to like put you on the spot or anything, but what's the most like either embarrassing or kind of like worst question, or if there was a player that kind of gave you a like damn cold answer? What was one of those?
That's a good question. Off the top, I will say one I remember is I was very flustered during the NBA Finals last year. And, you know, the NBA Finals, it's guys from all over the world. Like, it's not just U.S. people. Like, it's
center stage of the world. Everybody's watching.
So, you know, they do, like, media days where it's like they come on the court and they have a podium. They swap in 3 guys at 4 different podiums throughout the whole thing. And you're able to obviously ask some questions and stuff during that thing. And Alex Caruso was he was obviously a big talking point on the first day, just because, you know, he was the only person on the team that had won a championship before, that had actually been there before. So everybody wanted to get his opinion. And I slipped in with the very last question. And I don't know, I can't like tell you off the top of it, off of my head, like what the exact question was, but I think it was something like, you know, I think this is like game 5 and it was 2-2. So I'm like, you know, I was just happy to get a question in. So I'm like, you know, the Pacers have been like the only team to give you guys any like real pushback. You know, why do you feel like that is? And mind you, they had just played the Nuggets in a 7-game series, but like, you know, like I wasn't thinking. And Caruso kind of gave an answer, but was like, well, you know, don't forget about Denver. I mean, we just played them in 7 games. I was embarrassed. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. But I mean, that's a big one. I don't necessarily think I've had like a bad interaction, like as far as like somebody like, I know you guys like saw how Russ was back in the day and like how he used to go back and forth. I haven't had anything like that. I don't think there's a player on the team that's like Russ, but
a lot of them seem pretty chill.
For the most part, like they're really good with media. But I think it's more so me about me being in my head. Like when I ask questions, I think I repeat words. Like I'll say like, obviously. I hate even looking back at my like recorded like videos and pressers or questions, because I say obviously 3 to 4 times or 5 times in the same sentence, or I'm just really repetitive. But I mean, it's not easy to do. But the more reps you have, I mean, it's just like anything else. The more
repetition,
repetition, more experience that you have, the more easy it'll become.
So are there people? You were talking about the hard hitting questions. I feel like I've seen like YouTube compilations of like reporters asking NBA players stupid questions. Are there reporters that like that is their job to like ask the kind of like the hard hitting questions, or is that more of so like whoever like in the room, it's kind of just up to them to who ask it?
I think that there's not necessarily like, so obviously when, like you said, when Russ was here, Barry Trimble was that guy. Like Barry Trimble and Russ obviously had their history. And he was obviously that guy just with some of the things that he written. And you know, him and Russ feeling away about each other. We don't necessarily, Barry's still in the building, but you don't necessarily have the personalities. And like, you know, I think the Thunder have really done like the organization and Sam Presti and, I'm blanking on Matt's last name, but he's their PR guy, Matt Tumbleson. I think that they've done a really good job of like, you know, kind of, you know, they don't really have, there's not, obviously, as you guys know, there's not a lot of drama. So it's like, you're not really going to get any bad questions with this team, just with the way that their personalities are. But yeah, I mean, you know, depending on who it is, like, I don't think that there is a go-to person. Nick Gallo obviously always has the first question. So,
Yeah, man.
you know, it really, you know, depends on where he steers it. But at the same time, I don't think that there's like a guy that, you know, is the bad guy, quote unquote.
Right.
But I feel like, you know, like some, you know, when you're in there, you have to ask the questions. Like, obviously, there are going to be things that you're going to have to ask. And whether that's like Justin Martinez, who's our beat writer, or Joel Lorenzi, who used to be our beat writer and now works for the New York Times, or Jenny Carlson, that's also with us, or, you know, there's just a lot of guys that aren't afraid to ask questions. And I don't think that, like I said, I don't think this is a group that's afraid to answer them necessarily either. Like, as you guys see, Mark Dagnall is always giving some quotable, you know, no matter what it is, either it's pregame or postgame.
He's throwing bars in
Yeah,
there.
he does. So it's like, you know, like they're gonna give you what you're looking for. So it's like not even all the time do you have to phrase it in a certain way that's like in a way for them to get more out of it, because, you know, they're really good at talking, and a lot of them will be able to give you what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You could say in an answer.
And that probably helps how young they are too.
Yeah.
As like a team. Like, what's their average age? Like 25,
25.
something like that. So like they're a lot.
There's no like
to
crazy
us, yeah, they're a lot
alpha
like-
dog personality.
No.
Easier
like,
to relate to almost,
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like. But going off of your question earlier, was there any question, this is a two-part question, any question that you asked that, you know, like earlier this week, you know, like one of your tweets and questions with Dylan Brooks went viral. Was there any, you know, something like that where you were like really proud of the question? And then also, has there anybody, like, have you asked LeBron like a question? Is there any like people that you've been like,
That I want to ask questions.
yeah, like wanted to, or
so-
anybody in the league that you look forward to
Well,
interviewing?
LeBron is the one. Obviously, like LeBron is. I feel like he's the GOAT. I know him from Chicago, but he's at this point. I mean, we got to give it up to him. But yeah, he's the only player that I haven't asked a question to. Well, Steph Curry, but I talked to Draymond. So there, some of the. Okay, so I'll ask you your first question first. The Dylan Brooks thing was cool. I didn't necessarily think he was going to take it there, but I'm not. Obviously, it's Dylan Brooks, so I'm not surprised that he took it where he took it. But I would say I had an interaction on ring night. KD. I asked him basically like you were just in a. That's the game in with a double overtime, and KD I think fouled out like with less than 30 seconds to play, and it went into double overtime. And like I pretty much just asked him like, bro, you were just in a game with the reigning champions in your former arena, and you're against your former team, and you're in year 19, and you're still like playing in these high leverage moments, and you're making the plays down the stretch to be able to do that. Like, just can you like basically reflect on what it means to get year 19 kicked off, and how you felt about like just being able to still be playing at this high of a level when you're, you know, close to being 40 years old, or a couple ways, you know, years away from being that. And he gave me a great answer. Like guys like that, guys that get a lot of the hate, I guess you could say, in the media. I mean, KD, we know like is very vocal, but like even Draymond has given a lot of like. I remember last year, our old writer Joel Lorenzi was doing a story on Shea, and he was looking to talk to obviously different. You know, we get the same stuff from the players, his teammates, or the other coaches talking about Shea, but it's like his competitors, even the fiercest of competitors, the top-notch guys like Draymond Green, sat down with him and gave him 15 minutes of his time to talk specifically about Shea. And I don't know if he ended up using it as like the lead, but like a lot of what he said was used in that story. And so guys like that, like I always find fascinating, that are like that. I'm not gonna say enjoy the media, but like aren't afraid to like give you a real answer and like are gonna be real authentic with you instead of kind of giving you the cookie cutter PR answers, basically is what I'm saying. So Kevin Durant, like I said, was probably my favorite. Oh no, Kyrie Irving too. In the playoffs when they played the Thunder in 2024, gave me a great answer. I think I forget what it was off the top, but I asked a very open-ended question, and he gave me a 3-minute open-ended answer. Like no interruptions from like the PR people, from a teammate, or any other questions. Like he looked at me for 3 minutes and answered my question with the best of his ability, and I felt it was very like vulnerable and very honest. So I would say those two, Katie, and then and Kyrie, and then like I said, LeBron is the only person I want to. But LeBron is a bit different because it's not the same scrum. It's not it's not like you have an opportunity with LeBron. You have to get in there because
to seize it.
Everybody says the black trucks or whatever, like the clutch black trucks, or pull up if you say anything or anything. But that's legitimate. Like, he has like a line of reporters, and like, they have the LA guys. And like, you can get a question in, but like, as far as I go, like, it was kind of tough the last 2 times when they played the Lakers last year and when they played them a couple weeks ago to get in a question. I think it was hard this year because Luka had just got hurt. That was a game where Luka and Austin Reeves, but we only knew about Luka at that point. So everybody's asking about Luka. And like, I came with some questions, or like I had some stuff in my notes, or I'm like, I'm looking forward to like that, some things I was actually questionable about in regards to LeBron, and like, obviously he's been on championship teams, and like, kind of what are those qualities that he seen in his teams to where that he sees them now with the Thunder, because you see him talk about them all the time with JJ Redick and stuff. So I didn't get a chance to ask that question. It's probably not the most appropriate next round because they're going to be fighting for to move on. So, but I hopefully, and I probably will be able to get in a question for LeBron. I don't necessarily I'm not like fiending or like I need this question, but that would be pretty cool. He's the only person that I have, and I know a lot of people have said that to me too. So
yeah.
That'd be a nice little check off the bucket list too.
Yeah.
Interview the GOAT. Hell yeah.
I mean, another one for you covering the NBA Finals. I know that was your first time doing that as well.
Yeah.
How was that whole experience? And like you said, it's like the center stage of the world.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy because like, you kind of get like not used to it or like numb to it, but like I was so used to, and this might sound like a privilege or like I might sound privileged, but like you cover the NBA so much that it's like I was covering regular season games and the playoff games, like it just came routine. Like I never was, like I said, like even when I'm talking to players, like I don't view them as like, like
on a
greater than thou, or like like they're on some pedestal, or like I look up to them. One, because I've been around them, and just two, like I just that's not how I go about business, and like the way that you, the job that you have to do is to be obviously objective and non-biased. So it's like, I take all of that out, which is why, like I was saying before we got on, like I had to stop being fans of other teams and stuff once I got into this. But like the NBA Finals, like it's especially was like very eye-opening, because when I was there, like the first two games, I was just like, it was just like, to me, like I treated it like it was just another game, not the NBA Finals. It wasn't until Game 5 and Game 7, especially Game 7 before tip-off. Like I think I have a video on my phone of like when they're doing the that, and then the OKC.
Started
and
to get goosebumps a little
literal
bit.
goosebumps, bro. Like it was, like I literally had goosebumps like before tip-off. Like, man, this is the Mecca. That was the first Game 7 since 2016 with the Cavs and the Warriors too. So I'm like, man, this is like
Game 7 in OKC too.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, this is like what you like dream of.
Yeah.
Like not even just covering, but like watching. Like I was in the building for a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. It's not been many of them. So it's like, that was probably the first time where those two games, especially like Game 5 and J-Dub had 40, but Game 7 specifically was like the first time I was like, man, like I'm in the building. Like, this is like, I'm witnessing history. Like I said, I take a lot of it for granted. I even take watching them today for granted, because I'm sure you guys have seen online like a lot of the convos about like Shea and what his placement will be if, they're able to pull this off yet again. And it's like in real time, I'm like, I don't know about that. You guys are dragging it. But it's like in real time when you like see the names that he's with, like as far as like scoring, just accolades and like his accomplishments, like you're like, okay, you might be watching one of the greatest of all time, and that's just ultimately what it's gonna be. You just have to be in the moment. So it's like I always have to step aside from it and like tell myself like be in the moment. And yeah, I've done a lot of that this year, specifically being in there every day, and hopefully next round with the Lakers series, like that's something I'm gonna try to be more in the moment with, because even not just the Lakers series, but like moving forward, because this, I'm watching one of the greatest, in my opinion, objectively, no bias here, not just because I cover the team, but like objectively, I feel like we're watching one of the greatest teams ever. This is a team that I feel like can go on and be the first team we see three-peat since Shaq and Kobe. We're watching, like I said, who I feel like now, who I've had to come to terms with being one of the greatest guards, one of the greatest players, maybe eventually top 10 player maybe of all time. So it's like, I feel like now, like I said, after the finals last year, I'm like, okay, let me like actually enjoy this for what it is and like appreciate the setting that I'm in. Because a lot of people, when I talk to a lot of people, obviously they're dying. They would die to be in, or like love to be in my position that I'm in right now, covering this team. So try not to take it for granted now, which is why I picked up the camera too, to be able to capture moments.
Yeah. Does if Hallie doesn't get hurt in that game, unbiased, cameras off, objectively, do the Pacers win that game?
No, I don't think so. I think I don't know, man. Obviously he started off the game.
He did,
but I don't know, bro. Like just the way that they were. I think the game obviously would have been closer. I think that, in my opinion, as far as like the scoring output of Tyrese, I mean, T.J. McConnell pretty much stepped in and
he was hooping.
He was hooping. Like he had the scoring aspect. Now you could say like as a playmaker, obviously, he can get Siakam going and Miles Turner going and some other guys going in pick and roll sets or pick and roll action or on cuts and whatnot. But I don't necessarily. I'm not sure that they would have won the game. I don't know. I tend to think that just the crowd was insane in that third quarter, and we know how the Thunder are they go on their third quarter sprees just like the Warriors did, back in the mid 2010s. So it's like I don't think that the Pacers would have still been able to survive that climb, because even when Halliburton was going crazy, like the Thunder were still right there. So it's like, I don't know.
I think Hallie starting off as hot as he did made people like
of
say
course.
it a lot more
of
easier.
Course. I mean, people are gonna do that regardless, like no matter what it is. There's been so many the obvious one. I'm a LeBron fan, so 2015, you're gonna say if Kevin Love doesn't get hurt, let alone Kyrie doesn't get hurt, let alone Kevin Love, I think that all of us in this room could agree that they probably beat the Warriors. Like if you have Kyrie, so it's like I understand the hypotheticals. It's a part of the game. It's a part of NBA talk or basketball talk in general. So I'm not necessarily upset about it, but I don't think that. No, I don't think that they would win that game. But who knows? It was Game 7.
Yes, you can quit asking, Nate.
Hey, Hallie came out. He was saying "F you" to the crowd. He was
talking.
up.
He was talking.
I mean, we were in the building for Game 1.
Oh, when he
hit that game winner, and it was
crazy.
the quietest I've ever heard Paycom. Like you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah. But that's what I love about it though. Like even though I tell my friends in media out here all the time, like, bro, you guys need to go out. Even you guys, during the finals this year, because I think they're gonna make the finals. You guys should do some street interviews like they do in New York after the games, like the side talk stuff.
That was a thought last year before we even started the podcast. That was a thought, and then I saw some other people do it, but I've definitely
we would definitely gets live down there.
Yeah, that's the ultimate content, bro.
Yeah,
it's fresh reactions.
It's like you said, it's like the center. Like I mean, the NBA Finals. Yeah. Every content creator was down there too.
Seen Drewski, Kai Cenat pulled up. It's like I said, just that environment, bro. Like next level. Like obviously the biggest. Thunder fans are crazy. Like I think I can say that objectively. And they have obviously one of the best, if not the best, fan base in the NBA. So that makes not only their crowd crazy, but just the outside environment of the city and it being the first championship in the history. A professional championship in the history of Oklahoma. I think that, and that's another thing. I try not to take that for granted. And I tell, even high school basketball players that, I did a photo shoot a few days ago with a few players from Santa Fe. And they were like, yeah, we didn't come out last year. And we probably won't come out this year to the parade if they miss. I'm like, bro, your hometown
I wish I would have gone to
city.
the parade, yeah.
You guys didn't go?
I didn't get to go.
I got to go. Yeah, I work at the Criterion, so we parked there and walked over. It was we didn't get to get in
that night that they won.
We didn't get to get into Scissortail.
I had work.
Scissortail was too crowded, but we were able to at least be over by the Omni when they came.
Yeah. One of the craziest days of my life. It's 7 in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It was 120 degrees outside.
It was hot as hell.
Man, bro, it was ridiculous out there. But I tell people, Now, if they win, you have to call off this year.
Yeah,
and go.
Because
If they
everybody
will,
everybody
I
took
will.
off work.
Yeah.
Everybody was just partying downtown, bar hopping, getting
I was telling
drunk.
my work, I was like, hey, half the city's downtown right now. Why are we here right
It's just like that's history, man. Like you're a part, like to be able to see it. Like I understand, like everybody can't do it, but if you can, like I recommend it because that's something like I would have died for if again I wasn't a Cubs fan, so I'm not going when they won in 2016.
Yeah.
Like I don't really care that much, but like if the Sox or like the Bulls or the Bears won,
Yeah.
like, you're damn right. I'll be right outside, like in my city, even if I'm not even like the biggest basketball, football, or baseball fan. Just
the
because of where,
experience.
the experience. Like that's a once in a lifetime, potentially second, third, or fourth in a lifetime for the Thunder experience that you might have. So it's like, I try not to like, or at least I tell people, at least especially the kids, like, don't take this era for granted. The same thing I had to tell myself, like, don't take this for granted because you're witnessing history potentially, and just to be there, I feel like would be pretty cool too.
Yeah,
That's the thing with sports with me. I feel like Shea tomorrow could tear his Achilles and the entire Thunder trajectory. Knock on wood, for the Thunder fans in here. The entire Thunder trajectory could completely change, and all these kids or whatnot that are Thunder fans that think it just can come every year. They have no idea about the way sports can just completely change on a dime like that. So I agree with that. That you gotta not take it for granted.
Yeah. We know who he has winning next series.
Who? Oh, you're a Lakers fan.
Man,
fan.
come on now.
So can I ask you, what is the what's the game plan? Like what? So I would assume you're Lakers in 7 because there's no way.
I mean, we
Just saying
haven't
anything better
gotten
than
that far yet. The last 2 times we played the Thunder, we got beat by like 60 in both those games. But 2 of our 3 best players got hurt. We don't really have a game plan right now. We just got to rely on Goatman being
40
non-human like he's been doing, and hopefully AR comes back. I've heard that AR might be back for that series. J-Dub, you probably know a lot more about the injury. I've heard that he might be out for that series. So I think that helps us a little bit, but game plan we're not there yet. All right, the Thunder they're way too good for that right now.
It's gonna be a tough series.
It is.
Do you say it's a sweep?
I mean, it depends who's playing. Is Luka playing? Because I'm gonna assume Austin Reeves is playing because he was supposed to play the other night, and I think he will play in Game 5 against Houston. So I can only assume he's gonna play against OKC. Is Luka playing? Are we saying in the world that Luka plays, or are we
think
saying
Luka is still up in the air. I'm projecting that he doesn't play though.
If he doesn't play,
it
it's
might
gonna get
get
spooky in my opinion. Like
Luka, every time he plays the Thunder though, they put Dort on him, and Dort just blamps him up.
I mean,
so it might be a blessing.
2024. That Luka's the last. He was on the last team to beat the Thunder.
Yeah,
so it's like,
true.
I feel like, but obviously a lot was different. They didn't have Caruso, didn't have Hardenstein. Yeah. He was on a team where they were defense oriented around Luka, and they had 2 rim protectors that you can come swoop in, and they just had a completely different defense. Nothing but 3-and-D guys around them, and then you have a guy like Kyrie.
Yeah.
And the Lakers don't obviously have that rim protection and don't have that many caliber of good defenders or plus defenders that the Mavericks did that series. So I don't think it's gonna go that way, even with Luka. If Luka was healthy and he wasn't coming off, and both teams are fully healthy, I would say Thunder in 6. But I think that they sweep them, in my opinion. Like even with Reeves back, I think that it's just too much to overcome, bro. Like it doesn't really matter. You can put. I would assume they're gonna put either Dort or Chet on LeBron, and then you can pick your poison of whoever you put on Reeves, and then this without Luka, like
Thunder's is so deep.
Yeah, it's just like
They're
you
so
can bring in anybody. They don't necessarily even need J-Dub to play against the Lakers to beat them. So it's like, I think it's if not a sweep, Thunder in 5.
Gentleman sweep.
Who would you say in the West has the best chance of competing with the Thunder, beating the Thunder? Spurs, and then on the East, I got Celtics.
Yeah, I think it's the Celtics. Celtics are like, in many ways, I partially feel like they're like, I don't want to say the only team that could beat the Thunder, because I do think, obviously, we've seen the Spurs, like they kind of had their number during the regular season. But when Boston gets that 3-point shot going, bro, I mean,
Now they have Tatum back.
Tatum is playing back at he's not 100% necessarily, but like even 85% Tatum is like still like was just killing the Sixers last night. He's killed them this whole series, been playing really well since he came back. If you're getting Tatum at that, he gets to 100% and Brown and things are clicking all. There is a world where the Celtics could beat the Thunder. Mm-hmm. Same thing for the Spurs. There's a world where obviously the Spurs, and obviously we'll see that for the years to come, because I do think that is the next like Lakers Spurs kind of, or Knicks Bulls, or
rivalry.
Kind of like a rivalry kind of thing. I do think that is what is obviously brewing. I don't know, man. I don't necessarily though think that. I mean, they have the best player in the league. The Thunder do have the best player in the league right now. Best team. Like I just said, I think one of the greatest teams of all time, if not the greatest defense that we've probably seen, like from top to bottom. Just as far as like on the paper and roster and actually going out and performing, and because you can concede a lot of switches with this team, and it's like it doesn't matter. And like NBA a lot, especially in the playoffs, there's a lot of mismatch on it. I mean, we're seeing LeBron and the Lakers do it right now. That's Reed Shepard. You're seeing like obviously the Timberwolves have done it a lot with Jokic just getting to the rim, and it's like this team you can't really pick on anybody. So it's like your jump shot is going to have to be on. And obviously the Thunder's jump shot is off, is where I think, as we saw last year in the playoffs, if their jump shot isn't always falling, and you're forcing Shea to take more tough shots, or you have more people to throw at him, and he has to do more offensively as far as a scoring standpoint. I do think he will struggle, or at least he did last year struggle a bit, where it's like everybody else has to step up, and where a game can get close, like with the Pacers or with a Nuggets, where if their jump shot isn't falling, yes, I do think that they're liable to drop some games in the playoffs. But I don't know. This team is much better than it was last year. I mean, you have guys stepping up. I mean, obviously Shea is better than he was. Everybody is better than they were. Obviously J-Lo's been in and out of the lineup, but even when he's on the floor, like he's been really good. AJ Mitchell, who I think is one of the most underrated players in the NBA. I mean, he has the best contract, in my opinion, the best contract in the league. I mean, it's making $9 million over 3 years, and he's averaging 15 a game. I think if he was a starter, he could be a starter in any team in the NBA, in my opinion. So it's like, I just think that they have a counter for everything that any other team can throw at them, and I just don't think it's going to be close necessarily as far as like this next series. The Spurs, obviously, you have a guy 7'5", that creates those disadvantages, and then you have everybody else, De'Aaron Fox, Steph Castle, and Harper, and those guys definitely, and like we saw in the regular season, have made things tough for them.
Kind of like using Thunder's formula, like a bunch of young guys.
Yeah, and which is why I say, like, I think that's going to be like conference finals year after year for like the next 3. Is going to be like Cavs Warriors, but just in the West kind of thing for the next few years. Because in my opinion, those are the 2 best players in the NBA. At this point, and at this juncture in time, Shea and Wemby, I feel like are the 2 best players in the NBA. 2 of the best coaches in the NBA, 2 of the best franchises in the NBA. And both teams have done a really good job of forming their teams the way that that I feel like where they match up perfectly against another. So to be seen. I think next series I would have Thunder in 7 though against the Spurs, in my opinion.
Okay, going 7.
He's speaking the truth, because the Thunder are way too good. They're like 14 deep. They're ridiculously good. I haven't seen Shea miss a jump shot in like a month. He just doesn't miss them.
Well, in the fourth quarter, I think he's only missed 1 shot.
I saw that
in like the last or something.
In like the last month, which is insane. He's speaking the truth. I'll pop my shit about the Lakers like next episode when it's confirmed. But
what is that a pop though? Like I said, like
I'll find a way. There was a ref wearing Shea's shoes. I'm gonna bring that up for sure.
I saw that. Yeah.
I'll bring up the free throw. I'll find.
I don't know. I just feel like when you just look at the Lakers, like obviously you have to go, and then everybody else, like Marcus Smart's playing really well right now. Luke Kennard is playing out of his body, but it's like
we're nowhere near built the way the Thunder are.
Well, they're barely beating the Rockets. Like I felt like the big thing with the Lakers the past few years was coaching. Like down a stretch of games, because they're in close. Like if you go back and look, all of their close games, and not necessarily last year, but the Nuggets series, a lot of those in 2023 against Jokic.
Yeah.
All of those games came down to the wire. They just didn't execute in the last 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
That series against the Nuggets the next year, all those games, like if you add up all the points across those 8 games against the Nuggets, those 9 games against the Nuggets, all of those games were extremely close. They just didn't execute down the stretch. And obviously, shout out to Darvin Ham, but I feel like that was bad coaching on his part. Then you get JJ Redick last year, and then they don't have a big man, and you're playing against the one team in the West, other than Thunder, obviously, but the one team that was within their range of playing, where it's just a horrible matchup for you. Mm-hmm. So it's like I think they had a lot of bad luck in that sense, but now they're able to execute down the stretch against a team like the Rockets. But like I said, they're barely beating them. Like they're right there, and they took the Rockets just throwing up and turning the ball over in the last 30 seconds of the game, being up 6 for them to even win that game.
Oh,
so
my gosh, that game was...
Yeah, so it's like, I just don't think in a series like next series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only way the Lakers could beat the Thunder would be if they make those games like fourth quarter games. They slow it down to where those games are close, because I feel like LeBron and Luka can try and find matchups that they like at least, and I trust them more than the Thunder. But
really,
down the stretch?
Yeah, down the stretch. I don't know, but Shea, clutch player of the year.
Shea, he is. They're getting experience. Last year, I would have definitely said the Lakers because the Thunder didn't have the experience.
Last year, I said it was going to be Thunder and Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. And I think on our online prediction, Thunder fans are going to hit me, but I think I did pick the Lakers last year just off of the way Luka had been playing. And like I said, if Luka is healthy, like I said, if he was healthy, fully healthy, and he was playing the way that he was to close the year, yeah, it could go. It'll go 5 games.
6 games. When he averaging like?
It'll go 6 games.
He was averaging like 40
or 40. Yeah, he was averaging 40 for the calendar month of March.
He was.
So it's like, but I don't know. I think that the way that they can scale their game up offensively in the playoffs, but defensively, it's just not close. I don't think.
We can go ahead and wrap this up. Jordan, so let's make a little bet right now. If Thunder make the finals or win the finals, you'll come back for a second interview.
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay.
Make it or either way, I'll be.
We'll do after the finals, because I know you're gonna be busy with that. So we'll do make the finals.
Next time we'll have working AC.
Yeah, next time.
It's all good in here.
You should have seen me upstairs. I was sweating my ass off.
Nah, you're good, bro.
But yeah, we appreciate you coming through today.
Appreciate you guys for having me. Like I said, this is the first time I've pulled up physically to do a podcast.
Yeah, and this is our first time having a in-person interview. So
yeah, it was a good interview.
This is dope setup. I appreciate you guys for having me, and like I said, I'll come back anytime.
Yeah, and if y'all want to check out Jordan, we'll put his social media down there so you guys can follow him. And then, do you want to sign us off? We do this thing where we go, this is any given weekend, so let's have a weekend.
Okay.
So you can just look in the camera and...
Do I have to point, or do I have to be
you can do whatever you want.
Okay. Any given week. What's it again?
This is any given weekend, so let's have a weekend.
Okay. Any given weekend, so let's have a weekend.
Hey.